Within the Level 3 award in education and training, we talk about constructive feedback all the time. As a teacher, I have to give you constructive feedback, and it has its time and its place. And if I lost you, it's called praise sandwich. So you might be familiar with this term, whether you are a teacher, trainer, assessor, manager, or even a business owner. We all lead busy lives, and we tend just to give feedback when a learner or the employee gets something wrong. I completely understand this, and the phrase, no news is good news, has a valid reasoning behind it. After all, you're doing a good job, so you don't need feedback. This is what you're paid to do. But the problem is, just by giving negative feedback, you will destroy the learner's or the employee's confidence and self-esteem. So if you're lucky enough to study the Level 3 award in education and training with me, you will receive regular feedback throughout your training, which is verbal and via written means. So this means feedback when we're having a discussion, maybe you're giving answers or summarizing concepts, or feedback planning your micro-teach session, or even the feedback after your micro-teach session. You're not expected to get everything right first time, and very few individuals do. Feedback is the information regarding progress and achievement. So when you undertake the Level 3 award in education training, you'll need to know how you're progressing and what you've achieved. Constructive feedback, which is starting with a positive aspect, giving a developmental point in the middle, attending with a positive, is a way of giving feedback whilst motivating your learner, which will then lead to an improvement. If feedback wasn't positive and we pull up everything that a learner didn't do too well, we are causing a negative cycle, which will effectively be ruining their confidence, self-esteem, and motivation. And ultimately, the learner will give up if they feel like they cannot achieve, and we're not reminding them of their qualities and their achievements already. So I always give feedback in the Level 3 award in education training verbally, which is immediately when possible to reinforce a point. Let's say we're having a discussion about icebreakers. The learner gives an example of what an icebreaker is and how they would run an icebreaker session to their class. I will give feedback immediately to how appropriate it is, the benefits of it, and give developmental points where needed. The advantage of giving that feedback immediately allows the learner to make the required changes sooner rather than later, than to discuss any concerns immediately. This will lower the chances of having to resubmit work and will be better understood, as it will allow for clarification. When portfolios are submitted, I will give feedback after the assessment. Typically, each question that needs to be resubmitted will have a constructive feedback, where questions that meet the learning outcomes will receive feedback emphasizing key points and reinforcing those concepts. First and foremost, feedback will boost your learner's confidence and motivation. As previously mentioned, it will create opportunities for clarification and discussion. Constructive feedback is to give developmental feedback to improve, so emphasis progress rather than a failure. It'll give your learner a clear indication of what they need to do to improve, and will identify further learning opportunities or actions required.